What if Ciryl Gane actually wins this weekend? I'm gonna do some bad things, bro. If Aspinall loses, I'm not going to work next week. Let's get into it. If Tom Aspinall loses, in my opinion, this would cause absolute chaos in the heavyweight division, a division that is already as bleak as Ciryl Gane's head. I don't even know what that means. This division would be even more dead than it already is. Jon Jones would get his last laugh, and we move into one of the most boring heavyweight eras of all time. So let me break down the matchup, the mental side to this fight, as well as why I think Tom Aspinall will win this fight via round 2 KO. First off, the stylistic matchup. Let's look at both Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane. No, not when you wake up and you go for breakfast and the Cyryl's gone. I mean Ciryl Gane. He has great movement, great distance, great leg kicks, but his downfall in this fight will be his low finishing instincts. We've seen it time and time again. Gane. Ciryl will get into these high stakes matchups in these big fights and then will always come up short because he just doesn't know how to pull the trigger and really finish the fight. Ciryl Gane looks like one of the fastest heavyweights we've ever seen, and granted he is extremely quick with his hands, but it's very easy to look quick in a division full of blobs. Ciryl Gane and Tom Aspinall are two of the only guys in this division that are actually in decent shape. I feel like the heavyweight division has really fell off these past couple of years. Now when you look at Aspinall, he's got very similar traits to Ciryl Gane, but the one thing that he has that Gane doesn't have is that finishing instinct. He's going in there for the kill, he's not going in there to point fight and stand at range throwing leg kicks, which there's nothing wrong with, but in a division where one shot can put anyone out, this is what you need. You need the technical ability, but you also need that killer instinct, because no doubt that Ciryl Gane has some serious power in his hands, but we just hardly ever see it because he prefers to stand at range and just teep. One thing I will say about Tom Aspinall that has been keeping me up at night these past few weeks is his head movement and also the way that he enters into range. Tom Aspinall, for as quick as he is, he has very dodgy defense, man. He's got head movement, but the head movement looks a bit weird sometimes because he's always got his hands down and is making these very static, jolly movements, which is fine when you're fighting people like Curtis Blades that just wing overhands. But when you're fighting someone like Ciryl Gane who is throwing in combinations, it's going to be a risky fight, man. And when he enters into that range, he tends to lead with his head. And if you really watch Ciryl Gane's fights, he really just tries to snipe his opponent. We saw it against Tai Tuivasa when Tai got tired and started winging overhands and leaning into range with his head. That's when Ciryl Gane was able to land and finish him. And I just worry the same about Tom Aspinall here. Sometimes his technique goes out the window when he starts leaning in with his head and leaving his chin open. And that's just not something you can do with someone that has fast reactions like Ciryl Gane. If Gane wins this fight, it'll have to be a perfect performance with very little mistakes, because Aspinall makes his reads very quickly and capitalizes on his opponent's mistakes instantly. So why do I think that Tom Aspinall wins, and wins via round 2 KO/TKO? It's simple and plain. Ciryl Gane does not like chaos, whereas Tom Aspinall thrives in it. As I've already mentioned, Ciryl Gane likes to stand at range and point fight, whereas Tom Aspinall, he's going to mix up his attacks. He's going to go for the takedowns. He will enter Ciryl Gane's range and make him very flustered. And I think that is also the X factor in this fight, is Tom Aspinall's wrestling. We saw how easily he got dominated by Jon Jones and also Francis Ngannou. And Tom Aspinall has a way better ground game and wrestling threat than Francis Ngannou, let's be real. Once Aspinall finds his range, he'll just be able to land at will on Gane. I do think it will look quite even in that first round. I do think in those first couple of minutes, they're both going to be trying to find their range. Ciryl Gane will have some success with the leg kicks. I think Aspinall might even get a takedown in that first round just to really put it in Ciryl Gane's mind. And I do think Gane will look quite good in that first round, but that lack of power and that lack of urgency we've seen recently from him is going to cost him big time in this fight. Now let's talk about the mental side. Ciryl Gane just never fights. I know Tom Aspinall has only fought once in like the past year, but that's not by his own admission. Ciryl Gane has been out filming movies and just doing absolutely nothing. Tell me if I'm wrong, right? It also just does not feel that Ciryl Gane is really taking this fight seriously. Watching all the interviews this week leading up to the fight, it just seems like he's coming in with this overblown confidence, trying to trick himself into this denial that he's been preparing enough and that he's going to beat Aspinall, which is just not going to happen. I just don't think Ciryl Gane is as committed to this sport as Tom Aspinall is. Like, this is all that Aspinall does. You can see the difference between these two. A guy that's really trying to fight for his legacy versus a guy that is just half committed and is off doing other things. Also, as I mentioned before, Ciryl Gane does not really handle pressure very well. It feels like this guy gets infinite title fights and always comes up short just by lack of urgency. I also feel like even though Tom Aspinall has had the shorter fight time between the two of them, he's been way more battle tested. He's fought different styles of opponents and has able to pass every test with flying colors. Now, if Ciryl Gane actually wins this fight, this heavyweight division is absolutely cooked. Myself and a lot of other MMA YouTubers have put so much stock into Tom Aspinall just because we don't like how how the whole Jon Jones situation played out. We wanted to see that fight. Jon Jones ducked, and yeah, now we're getting Ciryl Gane fighting for the heavyweight title for the 3rd time. If Aspinall loses, this completely rules out the Jon Jones fight, and even though it's a very slim chance of it happening, if Jones actually wants to fight on the White House card, Dana White could really play this to his advantage and say the only way he's going to get on that card is if he fights Tom, which, to be honest, I don't think I even want to see at this point. Not to mention, Gane's inactivity will really be put on show here. Who honestly sees Ciryl Gane winning the heavyweight title and then fighting even more? It's just not going to happen. He's going to get a crazy amount of sponsors and new opportunities that I don't think he'll even want to risk. I think he'll want to milk it for as long as he can. Granted, I think the only good outcome from Ciryl Gane winning the title would be that Alex Pereira could move up, and I think Alex Pereira could easily beat Ciryl Gane, so then we would get an exciting new champ at the heavyweight division. So if the only positive from Ciryl Gane winning is the fact that he could lose to an even more exciting opponent, it's just not a good outcome. If Aspinall wins, the division will stay active. We'll see a champ who genuinely just wants to fight the best of the best. I also do think that Aspinall will go on a crazy reign and become one of the biggest stars the UFC has ever seen. We're starting to see it with Merab now. I just made a video on this, how over time, even though Merab wasn't the most exciting fighter or even close to being a fan favorite, the way he's just been able to dominate and run through the division by being active, it's really starting to turn heads and make him a star of the company. And I really do think we'll see the same with Tom Aspinall, even though a lot of people say he does have a bit of a bland personality. This is just best case scenario for everyone and myself. So yeah, if Ciryl Gane wins, the division goes to sleep. If Aspinall wins, I will not be deleting my channel. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me? Make sure you guys do drop a like on this video and make sure to subscribe as well, man. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.